Hello everybody, it's your boy, the Fantasy Football Almanac, back at it with another best ball draft video. Today, we're hopping in Best Ball Mania 3 draft. It's $25 for the chance to win $2 million, up to $10 million in total prizes. That's the goal here. We're hoping for $10 million. We're shooting for upside. We're going to be taking guys like Dalvin Cook, Austin Eckler, all these guys that have potentially get 20 touchdowns, have these absolute boom weeks, like a Saquon Barkley type of player. Here, I mean, Austin Eckler somehow still on the board here. Very, very surprising. It would be awesome to get him here, but we'll see. If you guys do like this best ball type of content, please go down and subscribe so you guys can absolutely crush your fantasy leagues. See how the best way to draft is. Austin Eckler has come off the board, meaning we're taking Dalvin Cook here, 100,000%. We'll take Dalvin Cook, and then we're hoping for a guy like Saquon Barkley here, realistically. I do really like Saquon's upside, especially in a format like this. He is a guy who's been absolutely soaring up these draft boards here, but I'll be more than fine to take him at 14. I don't care if it's a little bit of a reach here. I think Saquon Barkley's potential is absolutely insane, so we're going to take him here. Saquon Barkley, a guy I really, really like this year. I think he's an absolutely phenomenal player. In a team with a better offensive scheme. I think the only other pick I could have went with here is Joe Mixon. I think Joe Mixon's more than a fine pick here as well. DeAndre Swift could also have been interesting here, although not necessarily entertaining DeAndre Swift in this range as much because we are swinging for upside. I think in redraft home type leagues, I think DeAndre Swift probably is the pick here, or Joe Mixon's Joe Mixon's obviously the pick, but I would probably go Swift just because Swift has a way more consistent role. But Saquon Barkley, if he hits his ceiling, I mean, is going to be one of the best players in the entire league. We got Ritzy Higgins coming off the board here, pick 16, then Debo at 17. Debo's a guy who's been trending up a little bit in these drafts, coming off the board at 17.4, back when he was going at 19, 20, 21. I thought he was a huge value. Still has a pretty decent value here at 17, but, I mean, I don't love it as much. T. Higgins off the board at pick 16. Wow. I'm very high on T. Higgins. I think T. Higgins is a great player, but I think 16 is just a little bit too high here, personally, for me. Still think he has a good pick, though. Then we get Javonte Williams. Javonte Williams, a guy who I've really been rising on in recent weeks. I wasn't really as high on Javonte Williams, and I do think it will be a 50-50 timeshare. A 50-50 timeshare in Denver, but at the same time, if you have a guy like Javonte Williams and Melvin Gordon goes down, I mean, Javonte Williams is going at pick 5, pick 4, something like that. I mean, I could consider taking Javonte Williams at 5 over Jamar Chase. That's how good of a talent Javonte Williams is. If he was commanding 100% of the workload, which he's not, unfortunately, it is pretty annoying. Mark Andrews going all the way at pick 24. Boggles my mind. Boggles my mind right now that he's going that low. When Travis Kelce's going at pick 9. But what can you do? I mean, hopefully this will be us at one point, taking Jonathan Taylor and Mark Andrews. I really, really want this stack bad. I haven't really been able to get too much Mark Andrews because of the luck of the draw. Whenever I pick a pick 1, he doesn't make it, but whenever I don't, he does. A little unfortunate. But I think he's going to be falling more and more of these drafts, which I'm really okay with. If Tyreek Hill's somehow still on the board, I think it's basically impossible for us to get him because it's Tyreek Hill. I mean, there's no way he makes it all the way back. But if he does, it gives us an insanely unique team combination. He doesn't. I mean, it makes sense. We do have 2 running backs here. The problem is I do really like these running backs, whether it be ETN or James Conner here. That is the one problem with going 2 RBs here in the first 2 rounds is that these RBs, I mean, are still pretty good in the 3rd round. And I mean, I could also double up and get J.K. Dobbins and Cam Akers later. Potentially, actually, not Cam Akers. Maybe I can get a David Montgomery later. But I guess we shall see. Potentially, a guy I've been rising on a lot recently is Cortland Sutton. But here, if he's on the board, I'll probably end up taking Keenan here. Very, very safe pick here. I think he's an absolutely phenomenal player here. And then I'm torn between Sutton and Hollywood. Sutton, I've kind of realized that I'm definitely being way too low on Cortland Sutton at this point. I think Cortland Sutton still is a very talented player. For 1, drafted high in the 2nd round. And 2, I mean, he's going to be in a phenomenal offense as probably the primary weapon for Russell Wilson. So at this point, if I do get him at a 4-pick value here, which I may, I will gladly take him here. If not, Hollywood Brown is also fine by me. We are going to take Cortland Sutton here. So now we got Keenan Allen, Cortland Sutton. I do think Hollywood Brown going pick 41 is an absolutely stupid value here. I mean, there's no point he should be going at pick 41. He's going to be the wide receiver 1 and one of the most effective offenses in the entire league. Say what you will about Kyler Murray. Say what you will. I think Kyler Murray gets hated on a little too much. I mean, he has had some playoff woes, but he's still a very talented quarterback. Still a very talented fantasy quarterback, and makes fantasy lives easy for everyone around him. I mean, D-Hop last year wasn't all that great. He wasn't the best wide receiver, but before that, he was the wide receiver 4 in his offense. So I think he still is good at supporting fantasy roles. And I mean, we saw Leonard Fournette, just how many passes he got, just how many receptions and everything like that. So being in an offense, being the wide receiver 1 benefactor for Kyler Murray, and being an absolutely perfect scheme fit, I do think Marquise Hollywood Brown is definitely a value where he's going right now, pick 41. As now this guy's got 4 really, really good wide receivers here. I mean, I love this guy's wide receiver core. Oh, I didn't even realize Davante Adams went at pick 7. Wow. Oh my God. If you think that's a reach, please go down, leave a like, leave a comment below. Let me know if you think that's a reach. Be sure to include hashtag bestball in it so that we can be entered into the contest. Again, be sure to comment below hashtag bestball to be entered into the contest. Contest to win $50 to Underdog Fantasy. You can comment whatever else alongside it, but to be entered in the contest, please comment hashtag bestball and subscribe to the channel, and you will be entered into the contest. We got Allen Robinson off the board, AJ Brown, Lamar here. Okay, pretty standard draft so far. ETN falling all the way to pick 45. Very, very surprising to see here. Cam Akers still on the board as well. Darren Waller, a guy who's finally falling enough to where he's in the same range as George Kittle. I mean, I don't understand. I don't think I own a single Darren Waller share this year. Maybe I own one. But I think Darren Waller, I mean, when Darren Waller was going in the early, mid-40s, I don't even understand how it's possible. Juju's a guy I've been rising on a ton lately as well. I think Juju Smith is honestly a massive value where he's going. I mean, he's going to be the wide receiver 1 for Patrick Mahomes. How much better can it really get from there? The wide receiver 1 for Patrick Mahomes. Come on. And I haven't really been taking too much of him because I liked these other guys like Rashad Bateman, I like Darnell Mooney. But now I've really been thinking about it a lot more. I mean, Juju's going to be the wide receiver 1 for Patrick Mahomes. How much better can it get? And he's also done it before. I mean, guy had 1,400 yards in a season. There's not too many wide receivers in the league that have dropped a 1,400-yard season. It's actually rarer than you would think. Only 5 guys did it last year. And he's going off the board in the 5th round. In the 5th round. I mean, he did come off the board at 505 here. Cam Akers still on the board. Wow. I mean, I'm a little bit surprised. I will probably end up taking Akers here if he doesn't come off the board, because I think at this point he's got to be a value. So we most likely will be taking Akers, and then one of Chris Godwin or Darnell Mooney I'd be fine with. Trey Lance is soaring up these boards, absolutely soaring, which is to be expected. Denver may snipe us here, which would be a little bit annoying. He doesn't. We get Akers. And the reason why I went Akers over Chris Godwin and Darnell Mooney is because, I mean, I'd be fine with any of these 3 guys. I guess I'd be the least fine with Brandon Cooks just because I don't think the upside is there. But I would gladly take Chris Godwin at pick 62 or Darnell Mooney. Chris Godwin's off the board. One of the 2 guys I would have liked, I think let's see who's second. He goes Lazard. Actually, a guy I was, the back of my mind, kind of thinking about. He's got the same case pretty much as Juju. I don't know why he's going so low as well. Now I'm torn between taking Mooney and Cooks. I think Mooney is probably the higher upside option, so I will go Mooney here. But easily I can make a case for going Brandon Cooks as well. I think Brandon Cooks is such a good value at pick 63. But I just don't think he offers the same upside as a guy like Darnell Mooney. I mean, Mooney could be a guy who legitimately has 1,300 yards just because he's the only target in that offense. And I guess you can make the same thing about Brandon Cooks. But Darnell Mooney has the excitement of being a young player, 24 years old. Whereas Brandon Cooks is 28, 29. I mean, we know what Brandon Cooks is. We don't know what Darnell Mooney is. That's why I'm taking Darnell Mooney here. In a redraft league, I most likely would go Brandon Cooks, but Since we're shooting for the absolute highest upside in this draft, we take Darnell Mooney. Amari Cooper still on the board. David Montgomery, a guy who's fallen a fair amount here, and there's really no good reason for it. I mean, sure, he doesn't feel like a good name. He's like a Brendan Cooks type name. But David Montgomery's a really, really talented guy. He finishes running back 4 2 years ago. Finishes the running back 19 last year. Missing games. He was on pace to finish as the running back 7. I mean, come on. He's a really talented guy. I would gladly take him at the 609 at a huge value. The only reason I didn't is because we got Cam Akers here at pick 59. I would have gladly taken him at pick 62 if we hadn't gotten that. Trey Lance off the board, pick 70. Maybe since we do have Sutton, a guy like Russ would be really nice here. Because, I mean, I could get Russell Wilson here, what, a pick 83 potentially? I mean, that would be really nice. It is kind of sad to see my boy, my guy, Allen Lazard off the board here. But it is what it is. Amari Cooper's still on the board as well. I mean, at this point, Amari Cooper, I mean, come on. You got to take Amari Cooper here, I think. Amari Cooper, a guy who, if Deshaun Watson plays, will be an absolutely insane value where he's going right now. I mean, there's just no doubt about it. Getting him at pick 76 here. Wow. I wish I could have taken him here at pick 83, but unfortunately I could not. But it is okay. This team is really nice, though. They got a lot of good value here. Wow. Oh my god. This team is full of value. So much fell to them. I mean, except he took Darren Waller. Painful. But I do really like this team a lot so far. Let me know down below in the comments what you guys think about this team. If you think it's a little overrated, a little underrated. Let me know down below in the comments. Here, most likely, we'll be going Russ. Get that Sutton Russ stack. So that way, in Week 17, if Russell Wilson throws a deep bomb to Cortland Sutton and Cortland Sutton catches it, that's like 20 points from my fantasy team that not a lot of other people have, especially because I'm potentially getting both at a value if I do land him. Russell Wilson does come off the board here. We shall see exactly who we're going next, whether it be Kadarius Toney or someone like that. I would like Kadarius here, just because Kadarius is such a talented guy. I would be getting him at a slight value here. But probably, Kadarius does come off the board here. It does make sense. I mean, at this point, the wide receiver position's pretty bone dry. Don't want to reach on any of these QBs here, really. I mean, we're kind of in a tough position here. I'm not going to lie to you guys. We probably will go Gibson here. I think Gibson is most likely the right play, although it doesn't feel good. There's even potential we go Tony Pollard here and just get our 5 guys and then just totally... No, I can't justify that. We'll go... Oh, man, this is tough. I say we go Olave here. Solely because he's going to be the wide receiver 2 and might be the wide receiver 1 in his offense. Again, we still... Although Michael Thomas has been looking up in practices, looking great at training camp, I mean, for the last 2 years, he's been a complete question mark. So getting Chris Olave here, I think it's fine. I don't love it, but I think it's a good pickup. Not a great pickup, but a good pickup. So now we've got 4 wide receivers and 4 running backs here. This running back core is really strong. So wide receiver course, it's not even really that great, though. I don't really love this draft that we've ended up in. This position we've ended up in. But it is okay. We will ride on. Keep hoping for the best here. We got Clyde Edwards-Helaire coming off the board. I guess it is good we took Antonio Gibson because a lot of these backs are coming off. Somehow, Chase Edmonds still on the board here. Top pick right now. I don't think he'll make it back to us. I don't think there's any chance. Ramondre Stevenson coming off the board. But I do really like both these guys in Kareem Hunt and Chase Edmonds. I do think they're both values where they're currently going. I mean, there is a lot of backs here that I do like, whether it be Clyde. Kenneth Walker should be going up the board just a little bit with the Rashad Penny news that he is missing a little bit of time. And also, what's his name? Kenneth Walker has been looking really, really good at training camp, apparently, according to all the beat reporters, everything like that. So that's why Kenneth Walker is coming off the board a little earlier. I'm not entirely surprised. Uh, and the underdog community, they react to news so quickly. I mean, just like that, you know? So it does make sense. Here there are two guys we really, really like. And I'm surprised have fallen this far. And Chase Evans and DJ Hawkinson. Doesn't really make much sense to me. But most of these guys do have tight ends. I mean, there's two people without a tight end right now in this draft. So it is possible he does fall. Also, I don't understand how Chase Evans is falling this far. I don't think it'll happen. I don't see any possibility where he falls, but I mean, it is possible, I guess. Traylon Burks off the board. I mean, this guy must be jumping for joy. He's got Miles Sanders right now. He's got to be jumping for joy at this point. Matt Stafford's still on the board here. I mean, I don't get that at all. We're definitely going to get sniped on hockey here. A little hockey. But, I mean, I wouldn't be fine getting sniped on Hawk. I'd be a little mad. We probably will get sniped on him. If we do, I mean, Stafford's probably the play here. But I'm not a fan of drafting at 11 right now. I mean, we've gotten squeezed for value pretty consistently here. It's been a little painful, honestly. Maybe, I guess the only pick I could say that I should have maybe went Chris Godwin instead of Cam Akers. But at the same time, getting Cam Akers here, a guy at 13 pick value, I think it's too much to pass on. He goes Rashad Penny. We're going to take DJ Hawkinson here at a 17 pick value. That's insane. I would gladly take that. And then, I mean, I hope for Stafford here, potentially, because we do need a QB. So, yeah, Stafford's got to be the guy here. We're probably going to have a 3 QB build at this point, because Stafford's ceiling's really not that great, to be honest with you. It's pretty mid-ceiling. But we do have now a tight end and a quarterback that we can at least fall back on. We're definitely, this is a Deshaun Watson build right here. Just because we do need some value at quarterback, because we don't have a good quarterback whatsoever. I mean, we got pretty squeezed at QB, not getting Russ, Dak going off the board super early, Tom Brady going off the board super early, Aaron Rodgers coming off the board super early. I mean, we're lucky we got Stafford. It's actually crazy. We got him at a pretty decent value as well. We got Rondell Moore coming off the board at 111, a guy who has been soaring up boards, which I'm pretty glad about. I mean, honestly. He's a guy I really have liked, and I own a ton of shares of. I really like Rondell Moore this season. So I'm pretty glad he is soaring up boards. People are starting to realize how good Rondell Moore can be in this offense, especially because he's getting so much hype in camp. But let me know down in the comments below. What do you guys think about Rondell Moore? Do you think he's going to be a solid wide receiver this year or not? I mean, it is possible he does flop. Last year, he did only have 430 yards, so it is possible he flops, but I do think he will be a pretty decent player. Jameis freaking Winston coming off the board. Oh my god. Jameis Winston coming off the board, pick 116. Please tell me this guy doesn't even have Michael Thomas. What the hell is he doing? He doesn't even have Alvin Kamara. He reached on Nick Chubb here. Oh my god, this guy is absolutely dumb. He's dumb. Let me see. I haven't done a draft in a few days because, again, I have been on vacation. Where the heck is Christian Watson going? Wow. Christian Watson, he's coming off the board at pick 144 right now, guys. I mean, that's crazy. We could potentially get him at pick 155 here, which would be disgusting. I mean, that's really disgusting. Chase Claypool, somehow still on the board. I think it's probably from the Pickens news. If you guys haven't heard or seen, I guess, so to speak, George Pickens absolutely balled out. And he's been balling out all training camp. That's probably why Chase Claypool is falling here in this draft. But at this point, I mean, if he falls this far, I mean, he's got to be a value. He's due for positive touchdown regression. He should end up with at least 7 or 8 touchdowns next year. And he is a big body type wide receiver, capable of very long plays. So 131, I think he's an absolute steal. I don't think he'll make it back to us, but if he somehow does, I am more than fine with it here. Cole Kmet, potentially I could take. Never mind, I take it back. We might go Chase Claypool's off the board here as well. Dang, this range is also pretty disgusting. I'm not going to lie to you. DJ Shark coming off the board. Romeo Doubs and Christian Watson are coming off the board with the same ADP right now. Wild to see here. We got Fields still on the board. Maybe we will go with Fields here because we do have Darnell Mooney. We are getting him at a very slight value, so we probably will go Justin Fields here, get a second QB. And then I'll probably go with Irv Smith, potentially, just because I really don't like any of the players here besides these two. So we'll go Irv Smith, and we'll call it at 2 tight ends. And now we have 2 quarterbacks, so now we can wait. We'll take Deshaun Watson late. That kind of strategy. We'll take Deshaun Watson late. And a nice field stack with a little bit of value on both players. I mean, I would gladly take it because this is probably the lowest Darnell Mooney's going, ADP of 59. He's leveled out at about 60. George Pickens, a guy who's definitely going to be freaking going up the boards now after that touchdown catch. I mean, it's pretty obvious here. But I'm really hoping. I mean, if I can get Christian Watson pick 155, I would be jumping for joy here. I mean, Christian Watson, or if I can get KJ Hamler here, I don't think it'll happen just because this draft has been getting pretty high on these wide receivers, especially a Romeo Doubs. I mean, Romeo Doubs is becoming has a legitimate case now to be taken in redraft in your home leagues, and I actually highly recommend it. I mean, if you're playing in a home league where you don't have a lot of really crazy, really invested fantasy managers, take Romeo Doubs in your last round. Take Romeo Doubs right before you take your kickers, right before you take your defense, if you still have a league with kickers and defense. Do that. I mean, I think it's really smart. Because if you do end up, if Romeo Doubs does end up popping off, if Aaron Rodgers likes him, I mean, you now have another wide receiver 2, wide receiver 3 type player that you took as your wide receiver 7. I think it's absolutely genius. I recommend taking Romeo Doubs absolutely everywhere. I'm going to be scooping him up alongside Jalen Tolbert. I think both these guys are really good late round values. They can get the wide receiver position. I mean, I think it's absolutely awesome. I would be taking these guys absolutely everywhere. I like all 3 of the main wide receivers over in Green Bay because whichever one of them ends up popping off, gladly take them and run. And if Romeo Doubs does have a really good week 1 or really good week 2 or something like that, you could sell him and get really good value because people can be like, oh my god, this is the receiver that Aaron Rodgers likes. He's going to be using him. So with that logic, you spin him off, you make some good profit off of him. If he flops, then, great for you. If he ends up succeeding, then, I mean, it stinks, but you still probably got some good value out of him and like a 2-for-1 type deal. I'm hoping for KJ Hamler here. I don't think it's going to happen, though. We're 7 picks away. So there's pretty much no way it happens. Again, we've been getting squeezed here a lot. Really don't like pick 11 at all, honestly, in this type of draft setting. I'm not going to lie. It's pretty painful. I mean, it's not awful. Like, we have gotten some decent value, but I really don't love this team. I mean, we did get Keenan Allen a good value, which was nice. But other than that, maybe it's because I went a little too running back heavy early. That could honestly be why. Here again, a lot of these wide receivers are off the board now. I think we need to go pretty wide receiver heavy. I mean, we're taking wide receivers the entire rest of the draft. So we'll take Jameson Williams here just because Jameson Williams could be an absolute beast. I mean, it's certainly possible he could be an absolute beast. So we'll go JMO here. And then a guy like Wandale, maybe? I mean, Wandale could at least be decent. We don't have Kadarius Toney on this team, so it is possible. Yeah, so that's what we'll do. Robbie Anderson comes off the board. We'll take Jameson Williams. I do think Nico Collins could be an interesting pick as well. Maybe I will take Nico Collins in the next round. Just because Nico is going to be the wide receiver 2 in this offense. I mean, it's all but guaranteed. Who else is there besides Nico Collins? I mean, you got Brandon Cooks, you got Nico Collins, and you have, Brevin Jordan? I mean, there's pretty much nobody else in this offense. I don't even know if I can name another wide receiver on their team. It's that bad. of an offense here. So we'll most likely end up taking Nico Collins here. Unless he doesn't fall, which is possible. Plum Daddy taking Daniel Jones here. It is a little bit annoying because we do have our boy Saquon Barkley here. He's reached a lot. I mean, this guy loves to reach. I think it goes Gesicki. Yeah, we'll take Nico Collins here. So now we do have a fairly decent wide receiver core. I really wish we could have gotten KJ Hamler or Romeo Doubs to fall to us, or Christian Watson, but doesn't happen. I will gladly, I mean, if Christian Watson's going here, I would love to team him up with like a Jonathan Taylor and a Mark Andrews. Like, oh my God, that would be so saucy. And Romeo Doubs as well. I mean, any of these guys that I can take, I will gladly take. If you guys do like this content, though, please go down, leave a like on this video, leave a comment. Be sure to include hashtag bestball in the comments. You guys can be entered in to win the contest. Win free $50. Can't be too mad about $50. And subscribe to the channel so you can actually dominate your league mates. I mean, there's only one champion every year, but you want that champion to be you. I mean, every year I'm playing to win. I'm not playing to get 5th place. I'm not playing to get 6th place. In your redraft leagues, play risky. Play as risky as possible. Because if you play it safe, you're just going to be screwed. I mean, in all honesty, you're going to be absolutely screwed. Because let's say you do take a guy like a Brandon Cooks. Oh, it's Brandon Cooks. He'll get me 1,100 yards. Yeah, that's true. But if you have other guys around him that project to get potentially more, but may dud, I mean, you could get last place. Yeah, sure. You could definitely get last place. But you could also get 1st place. And that's what you're going for. You're not going for 3rd place on the plaque. Like, the only person that gets remembered is the person that wins. Who cares who got 2nd place? Who cares who got 3rd place? Who cares who got 4th place? You want to win. Draft players who will help you win. It's my advice, a little tidbit for the day. 100%. It seems obvious, but when you're actually in a draft, you're like, oh, I should draft safe. I should do all this other stuff. But don't draft safe. Don't draft safe. I mean, if there's one thing I could emphasize throughout this channel, it's don't draft safe, please. I'm begging. Don't draft safe. We got Freiermuth coming off the board, pick 166. Lemerex, I definitely drafted with him before. I also drafted with Preston R88 before, most certainly. I've probably drafted with a lot of these guys before. I feel like I've drafted with DSR too. Then Jeff coming off the board here, not too surprising. These wide receivers are getting pinched left and right. But it makes sense. See, I mean, I think Deshaun Watson's probably a pretty good pick here. Deshaun Watson decision won't come Friday. Actually, it's funny. Deshaun Watson played in week 1 of the preseason. I mean, what the hell? The league is taking absolutely forever with this decision. I don't know what they're waiting for exactly. Thought it was supposed to come out a few days ago. It's been rumored to come out about 1 million times, and it's just not. I mean, what the heck are they about to do? Are they going to wait until 6 weeks into the season to see whether or not they want to suspend him for the full year? I mean, I really don't understand what the heck they're waiting for. They want to suspend him the full year. Suspend him the full year. I mean, come on, just let fantasy managers know. I mean, it is pretty nice because we are getting him at a value here. I mean, 179. Come on. You cannot take Deshaun Watson. I don't get it. I don't get it. I mean, I do. I understand, obviously. He's suspended. But when you're drafting him right before Mac Jones, right before Ryan Tannehill, you can't tell me they have even close to the same ceiling Deshaun Watson does. And this is Underdog. Again, you're going for the risky picks here. You're going for a pick that can win you $2 million. At the end of the day, Deshaun Watson, probably not likely to play for a whole lot of time. But it's not certain as to whether or not he's going to be able to play. It's not certain. I mean, he could play 11 games this year. If he does, phenomenal investment here. Absolutely phenomenal investment. And if he doesn't, well, that sucks. It sucks. But at the end of the day, I'm not trying to win $25. I'm not trying to win, get 1st or 2nd in my league, in my little league with Connor and Jake Casey. I'm trying to win $2 million. Deshaun Watson will give you the upside to win $2 million here, whereas these other guys won't. Taking Davis Mills over a guy like Deshaun Watson. I mean, Davis Mills offers 0 rushing upside. He's on one of the worst teams in the entire league. I just don't understand. Either way, we got Paris Campbell here. Probably I'm going to call the video here. With our last 2 picks, we are going to be taking wide receivers. But at this point, I mean, it's pretty much nobody's. So I'm going to call the video here. Thank you guys so much for watching. Go down. Please leave a like on this video if you did enjoy it. Leave a comment below. Hashtag best place to get into the contest. And subscribe. I hope you guys all have a very good day, night, whatever time it is. Hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day, the rest of your life. And if you don't watch another one of my videos, please enjoy the rest of your life. I love you guys all so much. Thank you.